Welcome to Level Up and Strive with Felecia Etienne, the place to be for leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, folks that's looking to own your power and live a limitless life. This episode was brought to you by FeliciaEtienne.com. If you have not taken the opportunity to take our free assessment, identifying the habits that's preventing you from winning at work and winning in life, go ahead and take that assessment. It's in the description box. Go ahead and take that assessment. Today's episode, you are absolutely going to love. It's about habits that keep women stuck. Yes, you heard me. Habits that's keeping women stuck. This episode was inspired by the book, How Women Rise. This book was written by Sally Helgeson and Marshall Goldstein. So Marshall Goldstein, you probably know, he's one of the number one executive coaches. So you can learn so much from him. He's a world-class speaker as well. So really great book. But this book, I thought it was a great opportunity for us to talk about things that's keeping us stuck. As we come towards the end of a year, 2020, hell of a year for all of us. A year with a lot of opportunity for us to learn, a lot of opportunity for us to pivot, a lot of the year of change. But it's also 49 days left. So as we think about how do we win in 2021, how do we develop some great habits, and what are some things that are just stopping us, sabotaging our growth? Let's dive into 7 habits that's sabotaging your growth. Number 1, expecting others to spontaneously notice and reward our contributions. Yes, let's dive into this. Expecting others to notice and reward our contributions. This was one, I'll be the first one to raise my hand to say it was a challenge in the beginning of my corporate career. Especially when you are a woman, you like to work, for at least for me. I believe I was from that school where you had to hustle hard and you put your head down and you just work hard and you're going to be recognized for the work you do. But the reality is, it's our responsibility to make sure we're communicating what we're doing, the value we are adding, and what we're contributing for us to get noticed. It's our responsibility. It's not gonna spontaneously happen. Others are not gonna just say, oh my God, and notice. The beautiful thing is sometimes folks do notice, but sometimes a lot of folks don't notice all the hard work you're putting into it. And sometimes other folks get the credit for the work you already put in. And this also goes with your own business. As you're focusing on growing your business, you have to identify your own wins. You have to identify things that you're doing, that you're contributing, the value you're adding, and you need to be clear on how to effectively communicate it. Number 2, overvaluing expertise. Yes, you heard that one. Overvaluing expertise. What do we mean by that? It means focusing too much attention on mastering the skills of your job rather than building connections that's going to help you move forward. So let's dissect this one for a second. So this does not mean that it's not important to master the skills of your job, to master the skills of your profession, right? You need to be a master. You need to have competence in your job. If you want to attract the right clients, if you want to get the right consulting clients, if you want to get to that next level in your business, in your career, you need to know what you're doing. You need to have competence because that leads to confidence. But at the same time, you don't do that at the expense of building connections that's going to help move you forward. Some of you guys probably heard of the Dream 25, Dream 100 list, or identifying the folks that can help you get to the next level, that can help your business. A lot of times we're one connection away from the next role. We're one connection away from the next client. We're one connection away from the next consultant opportunity. But a lot of times we're not focused on that. We're so focused on the perfection part of the job, right? Becoming a perfect at this versus trying to see how can I be competent, add value, and build connections. That's a powerful one. Number 3, failing to enlist allies from day one. Yeah, you heard me right. From day one. Failing to enlist allies from day one. Yes, let's unpack this one, right? So what that is, a lot of times when you're owning your own business, you're so focused on what you're doing and building the perfect program, or building the perfect consulting package, or the next role that you're going to, the project you're working on. But while you're doing all of these builds, it's important to have allies along the way, folks that are part of the build, folks that are going to have like skin in the game as you go along. So they'll be able to help support you and provide you the support that's going to help you to be successful, that's going to help you along the way. So just to speed this along, number 4, putting your job before your career. So that's allowing the desire for us to be, as women, I can just talk about myself. I believe in loyalty. I believe in being commitment. I come from the school of, you got to work hard, you got to hustle, you got to put your nose to the grind, you got to do what you need to do. And sometimes when you have that mentality, and we're still living in that mentality, you focus on this at the expense of looking at the big picture, being very strategic to really keep front and center your goals, your purpose, your why, and identifying the opportunities that are aligned, that's going to position you to walk into that purpose, that future position, that opportunity that's there and designed for you, because you're so focused on being loyal or showing up for the career or for the customer, or without thinking about the big picture. You can do both. You can add value to your employer that's going to be beyond expectation. You can do the same thing for your clients, but not at the expense of your purpose, not at the expense as to what you have strategically identified for your life, the opportunity you want for yourself. Number 5, it's a good one. The disease to please. Now, nobody's in the room with you. Just, put a little check mark if you got a little disease to please there, right? And that is when you think about that, is being fearful of disappointing others. And a lot of times when you think about being a woman, it goes back to even your childhood, right? You want to make sure you are pleasing your parents, or you want to make sure your teachers are happy, and you make sure your boss is happy. But sometimes you're so fearful of disappointing others that you fail to hold them accountable to what they need to do. You fail to create your own boundaries, and you fail to say no to things that's not serving you, things that's not in your best interest, because you're so into trying to please others. This is not easy. This is something that within my coaching program we spend a lot of time on, and around developing that unshakable mindset, developing resilience. And part of that is building up that confidence to own your boundaries and being able to communicate effectively what those boundaries are. So number 6, too much. What do we mean by too much? Did a really nice job of talking about the ways that sometimes we give a little too much, right? And too much information, too much words, too much background, too much trying to do everything instead of trying to be really crystal clear, really concise, really targeted in your communication to who you're trying to do. What is the strategy for your organization? What is the goal for your business? Who are your ideal clients? Are you communicating in the voice that they understand? Or are you giving too much fluff? Or are you giving too much information? That's not adding value to the bottom line. Number 7, ruminating. That one is just a really good one because as you think about emotional agility and you think about emotional intelligence and you think about how do you become unshakable when it comes to your mindset, a lot of time what's holding us back is the overthinking, is the self-blaming, is the holding on to past mistakes instead of moving on. We just keep ruminating, going back over it, playing the same old story over and over and over, instead of identifying and accepting the reality of where we are, and then identifying what we can shift, what we can change, and what that change needs to be because we understand our purpose, we understand our values, and we're reverse engineering our life to live it on purpose based on what we want to live. Guys, if you are like me and you are looking for ways to level up in your business and in your life and do it on your terms, these are some of the habits you really want to do some self-reflection on. So the call to action for this video is take 5 minutes, take at least 5 minutes and think about these 7 habits and think about the 1 or 2 that you can identify and you can start to shift. You can start to pivot. It could be something as simple as not overvaluing your expertise, learning, mastering your skills, but understanding the importance of building communication. Maybe an activity you can do is identify your top 10 or top 25 dream clients. Identify the folks that's going to be able to open a door for you to the next role. Do something simple, but identify 1 or 2 of these that you plan to pivot, to shift. And you know how it is. If you want to break a bad habit, you got to replace it with an even better habit, right? Use the cues, but replace that. So this has been Felecia Etienne from FeleciaEtienne.com. I hope I add some value to you and I was able to serve you today. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with your friends on social media. Let's get it out there. Let's get everyone understanding ways that they can level up and strive and win in 2020 and 2021 and beyond. Take care and stay safe.